up,
Okay,
bud?
good. How you
How you
doing?
doing, sir? I'm amazing, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to prepare for Germany and see if we can make a shock the world kind of situation.
Heck yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
super exciting, man. That really is.
I,
I can't
I
wait to
think we
hear
got a
about it.
shot, man. I really think we got a shot. We're not as athletic, but we're super prepared. And if we can just make a play here or there, then I think we got a shot.
Yeah. No, I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm dude. When I heard you went over there, I was like, man, what an awesome opportunity that is for you. Like I got
Yeah.
super exciting of the challenge, you know?
It's really challenging because when I took over, they were 38th in the world, and we played. Obviously the top 7 teams in the world at the World Games a year ago in the World Games in Chengdu, and we beat two of them. We beat Japan and we beat Italy. So that was a shock to everybody. And we should have beat
That's
Austria. We
big.
lost 47-45 in the opener. And our defense was just. I mean, I only had them for 3 weeks, so I didn't have enough time to prepare them for anything.
Yeah.
They were just so new. But now we're
Yeah.
much more prepared. We got a shot. So we'll see what happens.
I love that. And after this call at some later point, we got to talk about what you had mentioned in the message when you come
Yeah,
back from Germany.
yeah.
I can't wait to
I,
hear
I would
about
I
that.
would love for you to come over here and coach. I just don't know what
Oh
your
shit, that'd be great.
situation is because George told me you have a four-year-old daughter.
Yeah, she's turning 6 now, actually.
Okay,
So
okay,
she's getting a little bit on the older side. So that might
yeah,
be something we could talk about.
yeah. It's an amazing opportunity, but man, that's just it's a lot of time to be away from your kids. So
A
I don't
lot
want
of
to
time.
force
Yeah.
something on you that'll mess your family up.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you're
Yeah.
thoughtful, man. I know you're a family man too. How you been, Pat? Before we get started, everything's good with you over there? I know you've been there for a while. How long
Guys,
you been there now?
1 year now, actually, just exactly. Well, maybe a
Wow.
year and 2 weeks or something, but it's been exactly a year because I went and did my tax refund today
That's
in
crazy.
Beijing and came back here. So yeah, so
How is the style of living compared to, where you're used to in Texas?
it's pretty different. I mean, because here in China, they just have Chinese food. They don't have Italian. They don't have Cuban. They
The
don't have Texas.
variety.
They don't have. I mean, like in the
It's
U.S., you have
crazy.
all kinds of food. They just have Chinese food, and
Yeah, I
and
never
and
thought
it,
about that. That's
it's a
crazy.
big adjustment. Like they don't have cheeseburgers. They don't have Texas barbecue. They don't. It's just it's a shock to the system as far as food goes. But honestly, it's been good for me. I think I've lost probably 10 to 15 pounds for health wise. It's good, and I'm working out. Because whoever I'm training, boys or girls, because I'm the head coach of both, which is too much, and I don't want to do that anymore. But it's helped me get in shape because I'm either training them on the field and moving around, or I'm in the gym with them training.
Hmm.
So as far as my health goes, at 50 years old, I can still run around
Hell
and play.
yeah.
But as far as the food goes, it's a shock to the system. I don't like their food every day. I can handle it once a week, but Chinese food
Sure.
every day it's overkill.
Yeah. And where are you in China?
I'm in Qingguangdao right now, but we move based on the weather. So if it's
Hmm.
hot, we go to cold weather places or colder places. Like right now in Qingguangdao, it's right on the beach. We're literally 100 yards from the beach. So, but it's like LA weather. It's somewhere between 65 in the morning to 80 in the hottest part of the day. So it's ideal as far as that goes. And then when
Nice.
it gets colder here, we leave here and we go either to Beijing or Shanghai or somewhere else where the weather's a little warmer. And then once it gets cold there, then we go to the south, which is like Baisha or Baisha, however you want to say it. And that's more like Cancun or Miami or something like that, where it's pretty much warm year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, what
So
an opportunity, dude. How exciting, man.
yeah,
What what
it's
what
very,
has
very
been the biggest surprise for you there? I mean, besides obviously the food stuff, but what's big like in the actual sport of flag football, what's been the biggest I guess shocker compared to here, if there's anything?
Uh, lack of experience because these players they don't, like I grew up playing football from when I was 7 years old, tackle football. Then I went,
Yeah,
middle school, high school, then college, and played slot receiver. I didn't play quarterback in college, but just their lack of experience, you have to teach them everything from the start to the
mm,
finish. Whereas in the U.S., training the guys like you and training the guys like J Day and Lulu and all those guys, they already know 85-90% of what you're going to do. You just have to tell them when to be where and when to jump a route and when to back up and basic stuff. So here you have to teach everything from A to Z.
everything.
Yeah, they're just brand new to the game, and some of these girls
Interesting.
really brand new. Like some of the girls that I got a year ago, they had just came from rugby, and some of them came from handball, some of them came from wrestling, some of them came from track, and they hadn't played football ever. And now I have them, and they, I've had some of them that have been with me for a year, but I've got other girls that they're bringing in because of their 40 times or their size or their speed or whatever they do, and some of them have only been playing with me for 3 weeks, a month, or whatever, and they came from either rugby or whatever other sport it was, and they come from whatever, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is. And some of them make the transition, and some of them are only here for 2 or 3 weeks. We figure out, okay, they can't do this, just send them back or whatever. But the
Yeah.
biggest thing is just lack of experience. They don't know the game, and it takes quite a bit of time. And then you
Yeah.
got girls that know what they're doing who they've been with you for a year, and then you got other girls that you're trying to teach from start to finish. This is the way you line up, this is the way you take off on a route, this is the way you backpedal, basic stuff. And it's really hard because not everybody's on the same level and experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, I'm picturing all of that, and it's a lot, man. Dude,
Yeah.
I give you the props for being able to deal with that because it's overwhelming for sure. It sounds like it could be so, especially
Yeah.
like where you've been, right? You've been literally at the mountaintop, so it's like to you know, go all the way to almost the
Yeah.
bottom, you could say, where you're having to show them the fundamentals of things and grow the entire program. Man, it takes a special person. So I definitely give you the recognition for that, brother, because that's definitely a tough challenge. So props to you, man. I can't wait to see how you guys perform. I'm certain that you're gonna perform well, especially after hearing that you beat Italy and Israel was the other team you beat
Japan,
recently.
Japan team.
Japan. Those are
Yeah.
two really good teams. So for you to
Yeah.
keep up with them, at their level that they've been playing, it's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Definitely could see you doing well over there. So, man, congrats to you on that, Pat.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but man, I'll jump right to it, brother. I just wanted to catch up with you a little bit. I mean, we could do that all day, but I don't want to eat up a lot of your time. I know it's late over there, so I appreciate you doing this, Pat. Man, I'm recording this by the way. So, what I'm doing this for is, like I had mentioned, I'm currently producing a docuseries, a documentary about
Okay.
flag football and the rise of it.
Uh-huh.
Initially, we're gonna be focusing on the girls' side because it's kind of like the wave that's happening right now, and then we're gonna
Cool.
venture off into other things into the male side, and then the Olympic event overall. But what I wanted to gather is to do videos with, influential people like yourself, coaches, players, former coaches that have helped, this big movement on, dude. I mean, I can remember I probably was first time we played, I must have been a teenager back then, probably.
Yeah, you
So
were
I mean,
19 or 20 probably.
dude, I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
legit.
You
Yeah,
were
man. It's
young.
insane to even think back. Yeah, yeah, no, I'm looking back. I remember, holy cow, I do remember that game, believe it or not. I remember it very well. So it's interesting to think back that far and just where the game is right now. So it's just, I kind of want to just, not kind of, I want to just put all that together and just show the story on how the game has grown so fast and where it's at right now going into the Olympics. So, brother, if you could just, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clip a lot of these things into a
Okay.
small video and have it as part of the pitch deck to the investors that are we're going to be presenting this to. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna have some questions that'll guide us. I want to
Okay.
try to make it as conversational as possible. And but initially, if you don't mind, just please introduce yourself, like your name, what you've done in flag football as far as coaching and playing, and just something that I could have to clip on that, and then we'll go into like our conversation, if you don't mind, please.
Okay. All right. My name is Patrick Alley. I'm the current head coach of the China national team, both the men's and women's teams. I used to be I was the former coach with USA Football. I was the assistant head coach there. Ran the defense mostly with George Cascudo running the offense. I have 3 golds with him. He's a very very close friend of mine. But yeah, we won 3 golds there in 22 World Games, 23 Intercontinentals, and the 24 World Championships in Finland.
Amazing,
Oh,
thank you, Pat. I appreciate
yeah.
that.
And with
Dude,
my playing career, I had 3 national championships playing flag football as a quarterback. Um, I mean, obviously a lot of other championships, but the only ones that really matter are the big ones. But I had 3 of those.
yeah, with an awesome team, Blackout, awesome
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
I remember those battles. You guys were tough. Pat, so dude, if you don't mind, just take me back on how you actually started flag football. Like what got you into playing flag football? Because you did mention that you started playing tackle football. So how did you venture off into playing flag?
Well, when I quit playing tackle football at SMU, I moved on to flag football and just got into 7-on-7, which which I enjoyed the 7-on-7 game. It was the first thing that got presented to me after tackle football. And I just love the game of football in general. So the transition took me a little bit, but the 4-on-4 game was introduced to me. Had to be around 1999 to 2000, something like that. It took me a solid year to 2 years before I felt like I was starting to figure it out. And then after that, around 2001, 2002, we started getting pretty good. And I started adding players here and there and starting to get my own level of, I guess, earned respect within the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex games. And then some of the better players started jumping on to my teams, and we started building, kind of what we felt like was a dynasty, or we thought we were really, really good. And then we came across some teams in Miami, or from Miami, again, in Vegas and stuff like that. We found out we were not as good as we thought in the national competition. Obviously, locally, we were really good. But then once we played the national competition against teams from Miami and teams from other places, Jacksonville and stuff like that, we found out that we need to get a little better. And it took us another couple of years, but then we started crossing that mountain and winning some of those games as well. But it takes time, because tackle football, flag football, they're two different sports. You have to learn to not flag guard, not arm bar, not hold, not do all the things that you do in tackle football. And it takes time. Reading defenses is different too. The speed of the game is different.
Yeah, definitely. I could relate to that for sure. And dude, you guys were always amazing, but I could relate to that playing out of town teams. That was something I was having a conversation with. I was talking to Nico. He helped me out with his videos too. So we talked about that. One of the things I remember is first time I played out of town. Just I remember being like just in such awe. Number one, how many teams were out playing outside of
Yeah,
Miami. I
yeah,
only knew the leagues, and then when I meet that there was other passionate people like yourself and other teams from California that were just as
yeah.
passionate as we were, and I was just like blown away by the competition level and the love of the game. Like I like the game, so it was really cool to experience that. So I could relate a little bit on being surprised by the competition level from other states. So man, that's pretty awesome, brother.
And
You
it's a
you you have
shock to
go
the
ahead.
system. It's a shock to the system too, to watch how different locations of the country play the game. It's really
Yeah.
kind of interesting to watch how everybody plays it different.
Yeah, I just out of curiosity, like, can you give me your perspective of style of play from teams from Florida compared to Texas and like California? Because those are usually like the main hubs, right? So, what would you
Yeah,
say like the California teams were like compared to your game, and then vice versa? Like, what were you guys with us for Florida?
I think the California teams are more tackle football style, just straight post outs, comeback routes, stuff like that. Whereas Miami and Jacksonville and all the Florida teams, there's a lot more double and triple moves, a lot more things that are
Mm,
really difficult to cover in one-on-ones. Um, and they run some plays that they're very quick double and triple moves, like shake routes and stuff like that in a small space, but they can get open in a phone booth. So they're just different concepts in general. They still end up the same place. Like you may run an out route, but it may be a hook to the outside, a bounce in and then back out, all in the same play. But you're just doing it so you can create more space to make it an easier window to throw to. So the Florida teams, they run a lot more double, triple moves. The Texas teams and the California teams have the athletes to compete, but they don't have or they didn't have the experience at the time. Obviously, they have a lot more experience now based on playing against us and some other teams that have taught them through we had to go through some rough times, take our beatings from the teams that really knew what they were doing at first. But now everybody gets the benefit of that from seeing what we had to learn, and now they had to learn that against us. So
yeah, man. No, that dude, that's a great way. I really didn't think about too much about the way we played until now. Yeah, I thought about the plays and things like that, but I really didn't understand a lot of the concept of what we were running until recently, until a couple years ago. But like it's like you said, it's like yeah, we changed from going to like an out, just a simple out to like maybe a hitch out. It's like we were doing things like that. That is like, yeah, it's still the
yeah,
same concept. We're opening up the same windows in the same areas, but we're switching up the look of it, which causes confusion and miscommunication in the defense. So I was thinking about it. I was like, recently, I'm not sure if you've seen my page on the flag football breakdown. Is like that's kind of what I was explaining. There's so many people, Pat. I promise you, I get it weekly of
yeah,
people just asking for plays all the time. But I'm like, hey, if you don't understand the concept of these plays, I'm just giving you a play. Like I'm giving you the answer to
yeah.
something, but then it's like you don't understand how it's developed and the concept behind it and the reasoning why this China route is here to create a window coming back here, whatever it could be.
Correct.
But it's really interesting that people just want to play. And I can give you a play, but when are you going to call it? Like that's the point. Is when do you
Yeah.
implement it? That's the part that I'm trying to help people understand. Is like when to understand when to call a play or anticipate the play call. So it's been really interesting
And not
recently.
that they don't know who to read on that concept. Are you reading the corner? Are you reading the linebacker? Are you reading the safety? Who are you
Yeah.
going towards the rusher, away from the rusher? There's a million different things. Giving you a play is not going to do anything if you don't know what you're looking for.
Not at all. One thing I've recently also identified is that a lot of people, and you're a quarterback, so you could relate to this and from seeing it, that a lot of quarterbacks don't read the defense. They're like looking at their players to get open. And I'm like, wait a
Yeah,
second, like you're not reading what the defense is going to tell you where to go with the ball. Like, why are you looking at your player to get open? It's
yeah,
like if this guy shoots up, you already know where the window is going to be. So it's like I don't understand why you're watching that guy. Like
yeah,
watch the defensive side, and they're going to tell you where to go with the ball, literally. So it's
exactly.
been
Yeah,
interesting to see a lot of people do that. I think that's what separates the good teams from the great teams is those sort of little detailed stuff that make the biggest difference for sure. I learned that from
agreed.
Rick, man. Rick playing with Rick was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Rick was Rick was really great at definitely his passing skills were not the best at all.
No, but he was brilliant, really
But he was
smart.
brilliant. He knew how
Yeah,
to use every single
yeah,
player. It didn't matter who it was. It could be a D division player. He would get him and turn him into the best player he could be. I didn't see
yeah,
there's not that many people that could do that. People had really good systems. Rick was
yep,
really good at turning players to be their best at whatever he always saw that like oh my god, this guy is a really good center, this guy could be a really good rusher. Like he really knew
right.
what person, like he a really good view for talent. I mean, he did it with me. I was 17 years old the first time I played with him, and he
Ooh,
just saw that I was very agile and to do things, and then he the one that turned me into a route runner. I wasn't running routes like that when I was playing with others. He's the one that saw that I could do those things, and it's rare to see those type of quarterbacks anymore.
that's the funny thing is people don't realize that they're like, oh, Justin Jefferson would do this in flag, which I'm not. There's no doubt he would be amazing. But if you really want to talk
Sure.
about a flag player that would be dominant, it'd be somebody like Lad McConkey because
Yeah.
he's just
That's a good
he's
way to
a
put it.
in a very small space. And I'm not saying he would be better than Justin Jefferson just because of side speed and just ability to just beat somebody one on one. But when you want to talk about flag routes and stuff like that, a person like that, a Julian Edelman, guys like that, they can just do things with their footwork that's really special, and it would just translate really quickly to flag.
Agree. Yeah, there's a lot of tangibles that are different from tackle football. And dude, you have such a rare, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, you have such a rare experience in the flag football world because you've been an elite player. You've played at the highest level, but then you've
Mm-hmm.
also coached it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Out of your perspective, like in the last 10, 15 years, what have you seen that's changed the most in the game?
Uh, I think it's the fact that people still think that big, strong, muscular NFL guys are the best at flag football, and it's not. I think that's just the biggest thing that has changed is everybody still they don't realize that that is not. I mean, that is not what you need. You need a flag player, a Velton Brown. You need somebody
Yeah.
like Pablo, somebody that you can put the guys out there that are 225 pounds and they run a 4.3, but when they go to rush them or they go to pull their flag, that person that's 130, 140 pounds can stop and then move again before that person can change their 225 pounds. It no matter
Yeah.
how good you are at tackle football, and that's the biggest thing is everybody still brings out the tackle guys, and they're like, oh, you got to see this guy do this, you got to see this guy do that, and I get it. Big, strong, fast does translate most of the time. In flag, though, give me the 140-pound guy that can literally
Ooh.
stop and move away from you, and then it doesn't matter how fast you are because when they stop and move in that first 3 steps, they're going to be 5 yards away from you, and it's not going to matter. So I think that's the biggest thing is people just can't get it through their head that they're two different sports. I realize it's football, but flag football and tackle football are two different things. It's like ping pong and tennis. You can still
It
have a
really is
forehand
that.
backhand, but it is not the same sport.
It's not. Yeah, you're using
Yeah.
the same. ball or using the cleats in the field. But it's just, man, I'm so happy that the Fanatics thing happened and that
Yeah,
it happened the way it happened, which we all knew. Obviously, the people that have been involved in flag football forever,
yeah.
they
I would have
I knew
my
it was
house.
going. I was telling everybody, dude, you have no idea, Pat, how hard it was to tell all these guys that are like, oh, they're gonna play Tom Brady and they're gonna lose. I'm like,
Yeah,
are you guys out of your mind? Like, I couldn't believe I
yeah,
was telling people this. I'm like, they're gonna get destroyed. Not only they're gonna win, they're
yeah,
gonna get destroyed. And people are like, no way. I'm like, okay. As soon as it
yeah,
happened, I started getting text messages like, Manny, you're right. I'm like, dude, we've dealt with this in the past. We
yeah,
knew this. It's just for the public to understand this and needed to be done like this. So I'm so happy that it happened. And then what
yeah,
happened afterwards, too, having the Tom Brady's being like, hey, we have the players right now that need to be there. The guys that have been doing this for the past 10, 15 years that are masters at this. Can the NFL guys and the athletes potentially become a flag player? Sure, but they're gonna
yes.
have to put in the work for
That's
sure. They just have
exactly
to
right.
put in that work.
100%.
Yeah,
And
man.
you're talking about a guy that's making between 30 to 40 to 50 million dollars. Can they do it or will they do it is the other thing. Those guys, they have
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying they don't want to medal, but I'm telling you, if you put 10 NFL players, the best in the world, I'll take that challenge before I want to play Pablo, Velt, Hoosh, uh,
Woo!
Nico, guys
Yeah,
like
you kidding me?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take that challenge any day for a gold
any
medal.
day,
If you can put me against
any day.
NFL players, give me that chance because not only do I feel like I can beat them in concepts, but I can beat them in just general deceiving plays that are from flag football that they're not going to know about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, even just the small things. You know what I did? I gave them credit. There was I can't remember who it was. I think it was Coach Shanahan. Yeah, it was because I think it was the third game that the guys were playing, the US team were playing against. And they did something very smart. They limited the possessions that we got. I was like, all
Yes.
right, now, but I was like, all right, well, this is it's good. It was very smart, good adjustment. But what happens to them is like, right, what that does is now every possession becomes even more valuable, right? Because now instead of getting 6, 7 possessions, now you're getting 5 or 4, whatever the number is for the ended up being. So every possession is extremely valuable. But guess what? For them was also extremely valuable. So as soon as we
Yes.
made 1 or 2 stops, it was like I knew that separation was going to happen. It was like we're not going to
Yep.
get stopped. We didn't get stopped. It's like these guys is the fundamentals of the games are just night and day. You're not tackling, you're pulling flags. That is a skill on its own, and even
Yes.
harder when you have a Velt and Hoosh and these people running around like maniacs. Like they're doing dips and moving their hips away from you at full speed, which is hard to see for a lot of people. That I think that's
Yep.
something that people saw with me in the past. It was like I'll be running full speed and I could turn my hips and pivot and go. When people are like,
Yeah.
what the hell just happened? Like he did that. And
Yeah.
it's like, so if you've never seen that, it's so hard to adjust and night and day,
Yeah. Because
man.
they're the
I'm
pros.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're the
The
pros at flag.
yes.
All right, let me see here. So I got a couple questions. Another one here. Uh, You know, brother, you know this personally, and you've represented the country so well in the past years as you were part of the coaching staff here. What do you feel? What do you feel when you have that logo, when you have USA on your chest, and you're out there on the field representing the United States? What does that mean to you, and how does that feel being out there?
For me personally, it means everything because both of my grandfathers were in the military in World War II. My dad was in the Marines. I was actually going to go to the Naval Academy, but I have 3 screws in my ankle, so I was not able to go
Mm,
to the academies as far as military stuff. Which, in all reality, it was probably a good thing for me because I was a very immature kid at 18. I don't think I would have been ready for an academy, but it means everything to me because when I was representing USA, like I would get tears when we would win gold. You know, it just means so much to me to represent my country. Obviously, I'm in another boat right now. I'm representing the country of China, but I still take pride in it. Just representing this country because it's done nothing but support me. It's given me, um, monetary reasons to do my job, and it feels like a second country. I have a lot of support here, and I mean, but yeah, when I was representing the U.S., it meant so much to me just to represent my country and to be able to do something that I wasn't able to do like my father and my grandfathers before me. But right now, I'm in a different situation, but I never will lose that feeling. Coaching USA is or it was the most prideful, patriotic thing that I was ever able to do within my own personal life.
Yeah, that was amazing. And definitely I could relate to that for sure. That
Yeah.
it's a prideful moment. Every time I heard the national anthem, it was just like you put away all that, all the when you're playing against other US teams, there's like man, it's hard to explain. It's just the competitiveness of
Yeah.
being against somebody else. But as soon as everybody comes in that team, it's like you put all that aside, and it's like I became even more of a teammate where I was like, yo, come
Yeah.
on, let's you get on the field. Let's do what you do best now.
Yeah.
Like these people, like it's just you get that camaraderie.
Yeah, nobody cares if you're from Florida, Texas, California,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. It doesn't matter. It's all just USA, and it's you do have a different feeling. Obviously, the feeling that we had for those few years, and honestly, I'm friends with those guys still to this day, even though I don't coach them. I still talk to
Of course,
who
of course. You
talk
went to
to.
war. That's the I don't think that'll ever go away
Yeah, you're friends for life. So it's something you
for
will
life.
never go away. So it's
Yeah.
really a camaraderie that you the only way you can know what it's like is to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree, man. I agree with you. It's such a unique time, and that's definitely one of the things that when people ask me about the experience, I always say is like there was people that I used to play against that when you get on the team, it's like you become even closer because it's like you were enemies, but you were just enemies because you were on the other team. But when you
Yeah.
become teammates, it's like you become even closer because like you respect the work and everything they've done. So it's like when they're on your team, I'm always rooting for them. Like, man, I want to do that thing. Remember that thing that you did against me that you got me? Go do
Yes.
that. Go kill
That's
them.
exactly right. Yeah. And me and George had conversations where we would pick each other's brains because I'm like, George, what can you do to me on defense? What can I do to you on offense? What can
Yep.
we make it difficult for each other within practice, within drills, whatever it is, just to make us better? And we would test each other as much as possible because, he's got a high level mind. I have a high level mind as far as
Yeah.
just what we do to make it difficult. So, we made each other work. It was great.
Yeah, yeah, it sure was, man. And you guys obviously had a lot of success with it. Pat, was there a moment that did you always think like as a coach on the field? Because I know as a quarterback, you do think differently than other positions, but when you were playing, did you think differently from now as a coach, do you think, or do you think you're kind of still think the same?
No, I've always taken the approach of if I'm coaching the defense, I try and make it very difficult on the quarterback. I mean, and now sometimes I will try and make it difficult on if they have a number one receiver and I feel like they're going to do that, then I will set my game plan accordingly defensively. But I always try and take the approach of what makes it difficult on a quarterback if I'm coaching defense, and if I'm coaching offense, what makes it difficult on this safety, this corner, whatever, from a quarterback's perspective. And then I have my receivers run those routes accordingly, to what I feel like. But yeah, I have the perspective of a quarterback most of the time on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think that is like when you really understand offense, I think you understand the defense, right? Because you're trying to break down,
Mm-hmm.
that helped me at least because I play both sides of the ball and it definitely playing offense, I understood the concepts that we were trying to do. So then it helped me on defense when I saw certain combinations. I'm like, oh, I know what they're trying to do here. My mind immediately will click and go to that open spot and potentially be able to put myself in a place to make a play. So I could
Yeah.
see where, yeah, I think naturally just when I was a receiver, it made me a good defender because I knew what they were trying to do. And I could
Yeah.
see where as a quarterback, it's the same idea. You can understand both
And you
sides.
also exactly what's extremely hard to cover so you can run that particular thing against that defensive player.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That
Yeah.
exactly. I know what their footwork is going to be or where they're going to end up. So I will use
Yeah.
that to my advantage too on offense, vice versa. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Wait, right now in China, is there how is it set up? Because in Mexico, high school football and collegiate football is huge and is becoming a huge thing now with the movement here in the US where they've sanctioned the NCAA has sanctioned flag football as a sport, as a championship sport. How is that over there? Is there a high school sport over there, or how's that over
No,
there?
it hasn't grown to that yet.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain based on what we do in Germany or whatever, if we were to qualify or if we qualify, even get in the top 4 to 8 and we make, we essentially change the perspective of how the country views us going towards the Olympics. Then I feel like it's gonna go pretty crazy. I feel like it could be nuts here as far as the amount of people they have, the amount of love that they have for the country, and they care more about Olympics than they care about any professional sports here. They don't. Their NFL, their NBA, all that stuff. They still do it, but it's nothing compared to what they feel like about the Olympics here. Winning a gold medal here is like winning 4 Super Bowls in the U.S. It's a
Right.
different feel about the country and Olympic sports here.
Yeah, I've heard about that. With their well, with every sport, they literally
Yep.
start from like when they're kids, and they send
Mm-hmm.
out their kids for gymnastics when they're 3 and 4 years old, and then it's like, all right, I'll see you when they're older, and it's like they're
Yeah,
giving up their kids. So
that's
I
it.
have heard that. So it's interesting to hear from from you, somebody I know personally. That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
they have
That's awesome.
a different view on like school. They have a different view on athletes in school and how they go about it. Yeah, they literally their schools. If you're an athlete, that's what you do every day. And I'm not saying you don't do schoolwork. You do schoolwork too, but to the same level, it's not the same. Like in the U.S., it's no pass, no play. If you don't play well here, then you then it's just a different view the way that they do it. But it works for them, so good for them.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Speaking of Olympics, what the hell did you think that flag football was going to get to the Olympics? Did
Yeah,
you ever think it would do like tell me about
I
that?
I had no idea that it was going to get like this. I had no idea that it was going to happen so fast either, because even when I got hired as the USA coach, I did not expect it to happen within like a year or two of when that happened. So the growth of the game, the interest of the game, and I think the way that it is growing, I have high hopes that it's going to be in the 2032 Olympics, and then from then on, I don't see the game dying out because it is football and everybody loves football. So I expect other countries to absorb it, and it becomes more like what the NBA did after the Dream Team. The Dream Team essentially grew the NBA into a sport where now basketball is worldwide and crazy. So I'm hoping that same kind of path happens with the game of flag football.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think Pat, I always thought that flag was fun and I loved it. So for me, it's like I always thought the best about it, right? I always thought I'm like,
Yep.
man, why isn't this? But definitely not to the Olympic. It wasn't even a thought about the Olympics, honestly. But I
Mm-hmm.
always thought about it. I'm like, man, why isn't it a high school sport? And when it became a high school sport here now, it's become really popular. I was like, man, that's good. That's really um I was really happy to see it, but it did happen extremely fast. And I think what really helped it is the one thing that was missing the whole time is the NFL backing, because I think that's what
Yep.
really was always hindering it from being where it's at, is because it seems like a lesser thing than tackle football, but it's just a whole different thing. And now that NFL is backing it and Roger Goodell is pushing it really worldwide. I mean, they've already gone to a lot of places. I mean, they just had a camp NFL flag in like Fiji. They had it everywhere. I mean, they're pushing it everywhere. They're almost using it as a I don't even know, like almost like an introduction into football, but just like a softer version in their eyes, where they're like, all right, maybe it's not as popular as the NFL yet, but they're using it as an intro to the NFL game. So it's that was the thing that was missing, honestly, and I'm glad that they're backing us up, and it's really cool to see it grow to the level that is at, man. I'm excited. I can't wait to the Olympics. So pretty damn
Yeah,
awesome.
but I actually think it has a bigger possibility of growth just because you don't have to be 6'7", 350 pounds to play flag
Mm,
football. You do have to be
mm,
in tackle football. You can be any given size in reality to play flag football competitively or very at a high level. You don't have to be huge. You don't have to be. I'm not saying running fast and being tall is not an advantage. I'm just saying you can overcome that in flag football if you really dedicate your time and learn to run the routes and separate and play, receiver or quarterback and be smart enough. My quarterback is 18 years old right now. She's literally 18 and only been playing the game a year, and she's in the top 10 quarterbacks probably in the
that's
world right
sick.
now. And it's
That's sick.
insane, yeah. And she's not tall, she's not big, but she played handball, and she can throw the ball and she learns really fast. So I think it
Sick.
allows other countries to grow within the game really fast. And I think because of that, and I guess the inclusivity of being close to the game, no helmets on, no shoulder pads on, you get to see the people. I think it includes the crowd.
That
I think
too.
and too.
Yeah, that's a great point you made earlier that you don't have to be this, specimen six,
Mm-hmm.
because that's usually what's in the NBA and the NFL, right? You got these unique
Correct.
people that are 6'4", 280 pounds or whatever. You're like, holy God, those are like once in a generation kind of, people in families. There's way more regular people that could build skills because really flag football, I think, is just mostly very technical and like just skills like that, just repetition, and understand. And then here, right? So yeah, I mean, if you're a little quicker and faster, it benefits you, but it's not something that it's gonna make you so unique that you're impossible to get. Even though I'm lying, because I think Velt is one of those damn people in Oomp.
Yeah.
There's some people out there that are extremely quick that obviously benefits, but it's not a requirement.
No, but quickness and agility is probably more valuable than size, in my
Yeah,
opinion. I
power. You don't need
quick,
power and
agile.
size. Yeah,
Yeah, you can cover somebody fast just by turning and running. You can't pull somebody's flag that can stop and go with the quickness and agility that somebody like Belt has.
agree. Pat, you've had a lot of experience at the highest level of champion on both as an athlete and as a coach. So, from your perspective, what do you think separates champions from people that haven't become champions yet? What do you think it's something that they're missing? Not just one thing, but if there's more than one thing, please, dive into that.
I think for most really, really high level players, it's the love of the game. Do you want to spend the time that it's going to take, not just when your coach makes you do it? Are you going to spend the time to look at video? Are you going to spend the time after practice to finish your footwork, whether it's a back pedal or a T step or a route that you have to run right? If you love the game and you enjoy playing the game, I think spending the extra time, you can be great at it. If you just happen to be an athlete that's being told to do something, I don't think you're going to be great at it. So I think the love of the game is the number one thing. And the number two thing, obviously, for me, is how quickly can you absorb things and learn them and make them functional in the game or within your own game.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. The people from my experience, including myself, I think the people that have been very successful at it, they do take a certain seriousness to the game where it's not just a recreational thing or just something that we're doing for fun. There is preparation, there is sacrifice that needs to be made. Dude, again, going back to Rick, Rick was one of those people that would get there at if it was a night game, he'll get there at the very first game and watch the lower level teams and learn from them. And then
Yeah.
he would stay there. He was the last one gone. And he knew everybody's weaknesses and their strengths. I was like, how do you know that guy? Well, I was here at 6:30. I was watching the D division game.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but that just shows you you're right. I agree with you, man. It's just I think there's a level and a seriousness that you do anything, not just with the game. I think how you take anything in life that's serious is how successful you're gonna give. What you get, I really believe whatever you put out is what you're gonna get back. So if you give 80% effort, you're gonna get
Yeah.
80% results. But you can't be mad at yourself. You're gonna give 100, you get
I
back
agree.
100.
What you put in, and I agree with that 100%. I think
Yeah, man.
when I was playing you the first time and I thought we were going to be the best team in Vegas and I got out there and we got murdered. But I watched that film. I watched all the thing y'all did, all the different concepts you did defensively, all the things that y'all did offensively. I was trying to absorb too because I was like, well, whatever they're doing is working. So I need to figure that out too and see if I can, I wasn't trying to copy plays as much as I wanted to see what things y'all were doing and see if I can make them
Yeah,
my own. I can't just run somebody else's plays, but I can run the concept my
the
own way.
concepts. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It
but
makes sense.
yeah, you have to watch and see the things that the best teams or the best people are doing and try and figure out how you can make that work for yourself. But you have to want to watch. You have to want to learn. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you.
You gotta watch. And back in our time, there wasn't any film. You had to actually be out in the field and sit there and watch. And if you could find a YouTube video of somebody, then it's like, damn, you got lucky. But you actually had to sit there
Yeah.
the entire tournament, just sit there
Yeah.
and watch.
Exactly.
So you really
Yeah.
had to love it.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
I love it, Pat. Brother, thanks for your time, man. I got one more question for you here, man.
Okay.
All right. All right, Pat. So if you could give advice to the up and coming, generation now, what would be your best advice for the up and coming and the next generation with everything that's going on with the collegiate stuff here happening in the United States, but most importantly, what's happening with the Olympics, which is now a new goal, right? It's like I think now everybody has a new target where it's not just like, hey, I'm gonna make it on the national team or whatever it was. Now I want to make it to the Olympic team, and now I want to go and play in the Olympics and represent a country. So, what would you think would be the best advice for you as a person that's been there at the highest level, playing as a player and as a coach?
I would say learn the game first. Find out what separates the game from what you know in other sports. If it's basketball, football, soccer, track, whatever it is, find out what your specialty is, and then secondly, try and find somebody that you respect their mind, respect the person they are within the game, and try and learn from them. If it's you, if it's me, if it's George, if it's Saeed, whoever it is, whoever the person that you think can help you the most, try and ask them questions and see if you can speed up your learning curve by finding somebody that you respect in the game and then trying to absorb as much as you can from them. So you can get better at the game quick and love the game. If you love the game, I think you'll get better at the game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, man. You could definitely cut out some learning time, some like that learning curve, right? If you just learn from somebody who's put in 10, 15, 20 years behind it and you can learn it in a couple of months. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let them speed up your learning curve for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and again, that from my experience, those are the ones that I usually see succeed is the people that come and ask, "Hey, what would you do in this situation? Hey,
Yep.
what do you think about this play? Hey, what would you do if this person did this?" So it's like the people that are always asking the questions are the ones that are going to get the best fastest. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah. Dude, I want to talk to you way more than this, but I don't want to take up more of your time, brother. I appreciate it so much, Pat. It was really good catching up with you, and
Yes,
let's
sir.
connect outside of this soon. Good
Yep.
luck to you, man, with the team. I can't wait to hear about your success out there. Good luck to you guys, man. I'm excited to watch the team play. Honestly, I really am. I'm curious to see, how good. I know that they've gotten better because of you, so I can't wait to see how good you've gotten. I'm excited to watch you.
I hope we represent well. But yeah, me and you are gonna have a talk after Germany. We're gonna get you over here and see what opportunities we can make work for you and for me as well.
Love to hear it, brother. Thank you again, Pat. Appreciate you, man. Have a good night. All right. Thank you for staying up.
Yes, sir. Later.
Later, buddy. Take care.